All right, this is homework help for Unit 4, Lesson 4, greater than. And we're going to get started right with number 1. So, for the ready, we are writing an equation that describes this story, then answering the question asked about the story. So, what is the story for number 1? Virginia's painting service charges $10 per job and 20 cents per square foot. If Virginia earned $50 for painting one job, how many square feet did she paint at the job? Okay, so right off the bat, let's go with our green. And let's say that, all right, charges $10 per job. And it says that she painted one job. So our equation that describes the story would be like, oh, well, let's see, she earned. So we're going to go with earned, E, right? Her earned money is $10 per job. So let's go $10 per job, or 10 times J, and 20 cents per square foot. So let's go with plus 0.2 per square foot. So let's use F as our foot marker there. So 10J plus 0.2F. If Virginia earned $50 for painting one job, how many square feet did she paint at the job? All right, so then we are going to fill in. We're going to say, all right, well, if E is equal to 50, because she earned $50, and she only did one job, so that would mean that J equals 1, then we're finding F. Oh, find, nope, not a note. Well, we were close. Find F, that is the goal. So we're going to plug everything else in. So we're going to say, all right, 50 equals 10, because 10 times 1 is just 10. 10 plus 0.2F plus, didn't have it there, there we go, plus 0.2F. And now we're just trying to solve for F. So we'll subtract 10 from both sides. Subtract 10 from both sides. And we get 40 equals 0.2F. And then finally, if we have 0.2, we have to make that 0.2 go away. So we could divide both sides by 0.2, but we can also multiply both sides by 5. That is saying like 0.2 is the same as 1/5. So if we multiply both sides by 5, that'll work. So let's times 5. Oh, really didn't like that. Let's zoom in a little bit. I don't think I can see quite enough here to really do this well. There we go. All right, so let's go. We'll just rewrite it in a little bit more space over here. So we'll say we have 40 equals 0.2F, and we're going to multiply both sides by 5. Times 5 times 5. So what we end up with is 200 equals F. So she painted, we'll go over here, right, just so we have space to write it down as like a final answer. What was her name again? Who was it? Virginia. All right, so, right, because we always want to answer with a sentence if we can. If it's like a word problem, we want to answer with a sentence. So let's see. We'll go over here. Our final answer was 200, so we're going to write Virginia painted 200 square feet. Virginia painted 200 square feet. 200 square feet. And it's important to include the units, because just saying she painted 200 wouldn't mean anything. Did she paint 200 miles? Did she paint 200 gallons? Like, what are we talking about? So Virginia painted 200 square feet. There we go. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right. Indicate whether the following statements are true or false and explain your thinking. All right. The notation 12 is less than x means the same thing as x is less than 12. It works just like 12 equals x and x equals 12. Ooh, well, not quite. It is false. Oh, where'd that go? So this first one is false because inequalities cannot be flipped like equations. So the symbol, so inequalities can't be flipped like equations. Can't be flipped like equations. Right, so 12 is less than x means that x must be bigger than 12, right? So this means x is bigger. This is the thing that is bigger, but here it's saying that 12 is bigger. So these are saying actually entirely different things. All right, number 4, the inequality -2 times x plus 10 is greater than or equal to 75 says the same thing as -2x minus 20 is greater than or equal to 75. I can multiply by -2 on the left side without reversing the inequality symbol. That is correct. Actually, you can do that. Yes, true. Multiplying on the left side, or it's expanding on one side, will not change an inequality. Oop. On a side will not change the inequality. And I'm gonna call this inequalities, spelled like this now. Inequality, INEQ. But that's inequality. So that works. Number 5. When solving the inequality 10x plus 22 is less than 2, the second step should say 10x is greater than -20 because let's go see what did we do? Because I added -22 to both sides and it changes the inequality symbol. That's actually false, right? And it's false because, let's zoom in a little bit. It's false because adding to both sides does not change the inequality symbol, even if you're adding a negative. Adding to both sides does not change inequality. Inequality. INEQ. There we go. 6. When solving the inequality -5x is greater than or equal to 45, the answer is x is less than or equal to -9 because I divided both sides of the inequality by a negative number. This is correct, right? So on number 5, we flipped it thinking, oh, we're dealing with a negative number. If we add -22, we have to flip it. That was wrong. But if we are multiplying or dividing by a negative, we do have to flip it. So this is true. Right? Correctly flipped sign. Correctly flipped for multiplying or dividing by negative. All right, let's move on to 7, and this should be our last one from the ready. The words that describe the inequality x is greater than or equal to 100 are x is greater than or equal to 100. Oh, perfect. True. And your reasoning can be, maybe that's exactly how you read it, right? That's exactly how I read it. X is greater than or equal to 100. And then that's exactly what's written. True. Perfectly. Oh, hang on. Perfectly worded. All right. let's go find number 9. Here we go. What are the instructions here? Solve for x. Indicate if the given value of x is an element of the solution set. Okay, so we are solving for x. So we're going to make these inequalities just x is either less than or equal to or greater than. So we're going to make x be alone, and then we're going to figure out if x equals 6 satisfies the solution, right? So whether it's in the group of solutions or not. So first question. All right, 2x minus 9 equals 3. All right, so let's write this a little bit bigger. 2x minus 9, or sorry, is less than 3. We're doing inequalities here. All right, so we can add 9 to both sides without flipping anything. Right, that's totally fine. So we get 2x is less than 12. Right, we can do that. And then we can divide both sides by 2 without changing anything. So let's divide by 2, divide by 2. So we should have x is less than 6. So x is less than 6. That's our solution to A, right? We've now solved for x. And is the value part of the solution set? Is x equals 6 in the solution? No. Because 6, oh, that is not a 6, is it? Because 6 is not less than 6, right? So that's a little bit of a weird symbol. Let's actually just write it as a word. Because 6 is not less than 6, right? So basically x has to be less than 6. So if x is equal to 6, then it's not less than 6, right? Because there is not the little bar underneath the inequality. That would mean less than or equal to. So if it's equal to 6, then it is not less than 6. So we will keep going. That was number 9. 10, 11, 12. It looks like we are skipping past, but we're doing 14. All right, solve each inequality. Hang on. There we go. Solve each inequality and graph the solution on the number line. All right, so we are solving first, so let's do that in green. All right, so we have x minus 3 is less than negative 5. That's our inequality. And we can add 3 to both sides without any sort of problem. So let's do that. Add 3, and we should get x is less than, right? Because adding 3 does not change our inequality. X is less than, and then negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. So x has to be less than negative 2. So let's go on to our graphic down here. Let's zoom in a little bit, and we're going to add some points to this. Let's add points in purple just to be contrasting with colors. So if 0 is there, let's put 2 here and negative 2 here. And we can also say that that doesn't look great. And we can also say that the number lines proceed to infinity over to the right and negative infinity over to the left. We can do that as well. Right, so infinity and negative infinity. And now let's put our inequality symbols up. So x is less than but not equal to, so just less than negative 2, right? So this is our solution. So less than negative 2 means there is an open circle at negative 2, and then it has to be less than that, so that's going to go this direction, right? So that is our graphed on a number line inequality. Let's go over to the next page. Looks like we're doing the same thing for 16. So first we're going to solve it, and then we are going to put it on a graph, or on the number line. So here we go. Negative 10x. Let's copy it a little bit bigger. Negative 10x. There we go. Negative 10x is is greater than 150. 150. All right. If we want to get this x by itself, we're going to have to divide both sides by negative 10. Divide by negative 10. And when we do that, the x will be left by itself, and the 150 will turn to negative 15, but we also, right, in a little cloud over here, we're going to make note, we also need to flip the inequality. When we multiply or divide by negative. All right, so as soon as we do this, right, this inequality, oh, there we go, flips, right, from greater than from greater than to be less than, and that is our solution. So x is less than negative 15. So let's just see. Let's just see. So we will put our 0 into the line. We'll put a positive 15 and we'll put a negative 15. Oh, there go the lights. That's not good. Turn back on. Turn back on, please. Oh no. There we go. All right. That is 15 there, and negative 15 will be here, and then we'll put our infinity and our negative infinity as well. All right. Now, x has to be less than negative 15, which means we put an open circle on negative 15, and it has to be less than that. So we're going to the left. Oh, didn't expect that. There we go. We're going to the left. So that's number 16 solved. All right, 19, we're just solving each inequality. No need to plot anymore. So let's see what we can do here. So we first have to decide which side is going to be the numbers and which side is going to be the x's. I see that there are more x's on the right side, so maybe we'll put the x's here and the numbers here, right? Maybe that's our idea. So let's try to do that. We'll copy it down a little bit bigger. So we have 2x minus 3 is less than or equal to 3x minus 2. 3x minus 2. All right. So first thing we're going to do is actually expand, right, the left side. We're going to expand it. And if you can't tell, that does say expand, but we will deal with that. All right, so expanding means we're going to bring the 2 and we're going to bring the 2 and distribute it across the x and the minus 3. So this becomes 2x minus 6 is less than or equal to 3x minus 2. All right, now we're going to add 2 to both sides. All right, so add 2 to both sides. We are going to do 2x minus 4 now is less than or equal to 3x, because that's all that's left, 3x. And then we're going to subtract 2x from both sides. Subtract 2x, subtract 2x. And we are going to say negative 4 is less than or equal to just 1x, right? 3x minus 2x is just 1x, which we write like this. So negative 4 is less than or equal to x. All right, and that is our solution to number 19. All right, we are on to the go portion. So let's see. Let's read these instructions just in case. Evaluate each of the functions as indicated. All right, that's easy enough. Evaluate functions as indicated. And it's just 21. That's all we're doing. All right. H of x equals negative 13x plus 9. All right, so we are evaluating when x is -6 and when x is 4. So let's do that. So we are going to rewrite this as h of -6 equals, and we'll do this one in green. How about that? We'll do that one in green. So h of -6 equals -13 times -6 plus 9. All right. If we have a negative times a negative, that's going to be a positive. So now we just have to figure out what is 13 times 6. Well, it's going to be 10 times 6, which is 60, plus 3 times 6, which is 18. So it should be 78. So we should have h of -6 equals 78 plus 9. That's what we should get. So we should get h of -6 equals, what's 78 plus 9? That's going to be, I think, 87. Oh, not a new note. 87. All right. And we'll do purple for the next one. Right, h of 4, so let's plug that in. H of 4 equals, and we're going to replace a 4 in parentheses wherever we see an x, so -13 times 4 plus 9. Right, we're first going to do the multiplication, -13 times 4. So I know that 13 times 4 is 52, but it has to be negative because of the one negative sign in that multiplication. So we're going to have -52 plus 9. And if we have -52 and we add 9, well, if we add 2, that's going to be -50, and then we add 7 more, that should be -43. -43. All right, so those are our answers. We have solved for the given variables, or with the given, we've evaluated at the given variable values. All right, solve each of the equations for the indicated variable. So we are solving a equals bh divided by 2 for h. All right, well, this is a good formula, right? BH divided by 2 is actually the area of a triangle. So it's not written here, but this is the area of a triangle equals the base times the height divided by 2. So we will be doing that. Let's do it in a little bit more space. A equals BH divided by 2. And we want to solve for h. So the first thing we're going to do is multiply by 2. Right, multiply by 2, we get 2a equals bh. And then our next step is going to be divide both sides by b. Divide by b. And we get 2a divided by b equals h. And that is going to be our final answer. 2a divided by b equals h. And that looks like the last question for today's homework. Hope it was helpful.